John Cola with DiscountJuicers.com. Today I have another exciting episode for you, and what we're going to do today is make my breakfast. Every morning upon waking I like to drink about 32 ounces of fresh filtered water, or better yet, coconut water, to get hydrated. And then I'll work a couple hours, and then when I get hungry finally, I'll eat something for the day. I don't like to just wake up and instantly eat a whole bunch of food because, you know, my body's basically breaking its fast because it's called breakfast. You're breaking your fast from sleeping 8 hours, and hopefully you didn't eat late at night either, so you have a long period of time where your body just does not have any food in its digestive system, and this allows your body to do the house cleaning that it needs to do each and every night. So I like to stay hydrated in the morning, and then finally eat lots of fresh fruits and fresh vegetables, and that's why I'm going to demonstrate today the Vitamix Turbo Blend VS. The Vitamix Turbo Blend VS is my favorite blender to use to grind up all these different fresh fruits. Now the blender can also be used for vegetables as well as leafy greens, but in my opinion the blender is best for blending up the fruits, while the juicer in general is best for juicing the hard vegetables and the leafy greens. That being said, I also do quite often make green smoothies with fruits and greens in my Vitamix blender to ensure that I get enough greens in me every day, because most Americans are simply not getting enough of these high quality nutrient dense foods such as the leafy greens. And the Vitamix Turbo Blend VS allows you to do just that. Now the main reason why I like the Vitamix Turbo Blend VS, because there are many different kinds of Vitamixes you can buy. They got the Pro series, they got this series, they got that series. You know what, if you're into healthy living and you want to live a healthy lifestyle, you have to get the Vitamix Turbo Blend VS for the reasons that I'm going to share with you guys right now. For the most part, all Vitamix blenders are about the same. They have about the same power, similar craft and whatnot. But the main thing that makes the VS shine over all the other ones is this right here. It's the recipe book that is included. Many Vitamix blenders may include recipe books with recipes on how to get the most out of your Vitamix, but none of them have this particular book. This is actually called Live Fresh, Raw Vegan Vegetarian Recipes. And that's the power of the VS. It comes with this, literally this recipe book that's really nice. It'll actually sit up on your counter just like that. It has a whole, like hundreds of recipes for different plant-based soups, raw and vegan salad dressings. Here's a homemade ketchup you can make. And these are the recipes that are going to allow you to get healthy, because they're all the plant-based, without the cholesterol, without the high fat, without the other processed foods, and frankly junk foods that may be in the other Vitamix recipe books. Because, you know, some of those models are focused on gourmet chefs and whatnot, and they might have frou-frou icing recipes and this and that. But you know, I want you guys to eat a plant-strong diet. Whether you want to go all vegetarian, all vegan, or all raw, you know, that's up to you. But at least with this machine, you'll have the options and hundreds of recipes so that you will not get bored with eating a plant lifestyle with all the different recipes in this book and the Vitamix that'll allow you to prepare these amazing recipes. I mean, just look at some of the delicious pictures on the back. I mean, they got sauces, dips and spreads, soups, beverages, entrees, sides, desserts, dressing, and marinades. So I mean, literally you can live off this book with all the different recipes. You can eat something different every single day of the month. No problem whatsoever with the Vitamix Turbo Blend VS and the Get Fresh recipe book. So that's why I like the VS. Now, aside from just the recipe book, you're going to get a few other things that's going to make living on a plant lifestyle or plant-strong diet really helpful. And that's the next thing right here that is not included in any other Vitamix. You're going to miss this bonus feature that is included free if you purchase it at DiscountJuicers.com for a limited time. It is the Hemp Nut Milk Bag. So this Hemp Nut Milk Bag allows you to make fresh nut milks at home, whether you want to make coconut milk, you know, almond milk, cashew nut milk, even some soy milk. You can do it with your Vitamix Turbo Blend VS and the special Hemp Nut Milk Bag. It gives you specific directions in here as well. And if you don't have a juicer and you do want to try to juice in your Vitamix, which I don't necessarily recommend, you can blend up water with your carrots and then pour it through the Hemp Nut Milk Bag and make what's equivalent of almost a juice, in my opinion. But yes, this is also included. And another valuable thing included with the Turbo Blend VS, because, you know, when you buy any kitchen appliance, it may be intimidating to start using it. But in this, they give you a DVD called Let's Get Started, with Annie Pio, an eco lifestyle and a raw food instructor and a chef, and she will go through how to use the Vitamix Turbo Blend VS as well as make delicious plant-strong recipes so that you can get healthier. Definitely really a good way to go if you want to get into healthy food eating. That's why I recommend the Vitamix Turbo Blend VS model above all others, because of these extra bonuses that's going to be included. So what I'm going to do today is actually make my breakfast, which is basically a fruit smoothie. And more specifically, instead of just a fruit smoothie, I'm going to call it a superfood smoothie. And many of you guys may believe that, you know, superfoods are those foods that are exotic from far off lands, come in packages, bottles, and jars, and mostly dried powders and potions and lotions and stuff like that. Well, you know, I want to let you guys know that superfoods are the foods that are fresh and have high water content and that are available near you. You know, superfoods are foods like fruits and vegetables, in my opinion, because they have some of the highest levels of nutrition. Now, of course, eating some superfoods from the, you know, rainforest that you can't get may be a good addition, and yes, I will use some of those today. But as you can see, the majority of the foods I'm eating are fresh, water-rich foods that are not processed. And I guess without further ado, let's just go ahead and make my smoothie. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add the coconut water. So I have about 24 ounces of coconut water right into the blender. Now it's very important when blending in the blender. I mean, the blender it's called a blender. It's not a food processor. Well, it can do some food processor functions. You know, blending requires liquids to blend. So when adding things to your blender, you always want to add the liquid and most liquid ingredients first. That's why I'm adding the coconut water. And you know, I'm using fresh coconut water that I took out of these white coconuts right here. You can also use young Thai coconut water. Don't recommend necessarily the brown coconut water, or, you know, if you don't want to open your own coconuts, buy some coconut water in a package. You know, coconut water in a package is far better than a soda or, you know, other processed foods you could be drinking. Now, make sure when you buy that coconut water in a package, make sure it says 100% coconut water. You know, nowadays it's quite sad that even organic coconut water can be from concentrate and other things. You know, we want to get foods in their most natural state as possible, and the Vitamix is going to allow you to process those so that you can get the best absorption out of the foods you're putting in. Now, this is a superfood smoothie, and the next superfood we got, in my opinion, are the berries. Berries are one of the highest antioxidant foods on the whole planet. And so right here we got blackberries. We probably got about, 12 ounces of blackberries going right into the blender. Alright, blackberries. Next we got the strawberries. Strawberries are super delicious, and strawberries are one of the least expensive berries to buy, so you should eat a lot of them, maybe even grow them yourself. We got about 1 pound of strawberries going right into the blender. Next, we can't forget about the blueberries. Blueberries are high in antioxidants and anthocyanidins. And you know, each one of these different foods have a whole spectrum of different vitamins, minerals, but more importantly, the phytochemicals and phytonutrients that are very important for us. These are the things that, you know, may help with the prevention of diseases in the body, and also just, you know, make you think more clearly. So we're going to go ahead and put in a whole bunch of blueberries into the blender. And man, we're getting this blender filled right up. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to put some bananas in, and I normally like to put some fresh bananas in my smoothie, but today instead we're going to put some frozen bananas in my smoothie. This will actually give a nice milkshake style consistency to your mixture. So after the bananas, what we got next are some certified superfoods in a package. John, you're using superfoods? Yes. You know, I can't get these guys fresh, so I'd rather include some small amounts of superfoods that are powdered up or dried instead of to exclude them from my diet. Now, I don't necessarily recommend you guys make a meal or your diet out of superfoods, but including some, in my opinion, may be beneficial. So we got a little acai berry powder we're just going to go ahead and drop right in there. And in addition, we got some dried maqui berries right there that we're just going to go ahead and put in. Now, to crank this smoothie up to the next level, what we're going to do is we're going to put in some frozen cherries. Frozen cherries and cherries in general are yet another high antioxidant superfood, in my opinion, We're just going to add a few cherries into the mix. Now, I always recommend you guys get fresh ingredients whenever possible. You know, remember, freshest is bestest is what I like to say. But right now, organic cherries are out of season or very expensive to purchase. So we're using the frozen ones. You know, when berries are out of season in the winter time, I'll use a lot of more fresh bananas and then just some frozen berries to make it that nice cold, you know, shake-like milkshake texture that I'm used to. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and put the top on the blender and get ready to blend. Now I do like this top on the blender. It has two little basically latches here that you just pull to get off. So you want to make sure when you do blend, it's all the way down so that nothing will overflow off the top. Now, one of the features of Vitamix Turbo Blend VS that I like, it has a BPA-free carafe. Not all blenders have a BPA-free carafe, so they may be made with polycarbonate that may contain BPA. So Vitamix is using the Eastman Triton material, copolymer, that does not have any BPA. In addition, because of the no BPA in the Triton material, it also dampens the sound more. So that's definitely a good thing because the high power blenders can get loud. While we're talking about high power blenders, let's talk about this a little bit more. As you guys know, the Blackberries have seeds. Actually, I was buying the Blackberries just last night and a girl in front of me said, "Oh, do those Blackberries have seeds?" I said, "Yep, they have seeds." And then she just didn't want to buy them because the seeds are hard. They may get stuck in your teeth. Maybe just people don't like to eat the seeds. Well, guess what? In the Vitamix Turbo Blend VS with the specially designed blade inside here, and it's high speed and cutting action, it literally cuts up those seeds and literally blows open the seeds to expose all the nutrition into your smoothie mixture so that now you can get the benefits out of the seeds. Many seeds contain essential fatty acids or fats, which will enhance the absorption of some of the phytochemicals and phytonutrients in the berries, plus also enable you to get some of these nutrients into you. Now, if you are to eat those blackberries, it's always best to chew those blackberries up into a mush, including the seeds, before swallowing so that you'll get the optimal digestion. I mean, that's why we feed babies baby foods, because they don't have the teeth. I mean, this device, the Vitamix, would also be great to blend up foods for babies or people that don't have any teeth or people that have chewing problems or digestive issues. In addition, what we're not showing today is the Vitamix tamper. It has a tamper that you can use in the machine while it's running to ensure you get blade contact so that sharp blade can come in contact and cut up all the ingredients inside. Next, we're going to go ahead and blend, and using this blender, super simple. It may look like there's a whole bunch of different controls on here, but pretty much you got a on and off. That's really easy. Then you got a high and a variable. So I always like to start my blender on the variable speed. I'll put it on variable, and I'll turn this dial, which is kind of like that volume control on your old-fashioned TV. We're going to turn it down to low, because if you turned on your TV, it was on the highest volume, it might like shock you, right? It'd be too loud. So I don't like to do that on the blender either. I like to turn it on low or turn this on. The blade will just start to spin a little bit, then slowly I'll crank this up, the variable speed, and it goes faster. Once I got it all the way up to the number 10 on the variable, then I'll kick it into turbo mode, which is when I click this up to the high speed here. Now you can hear all the seeds and the dried foods and the frozen foods getting chopped up by the Vitamix Turbo Blend VS into my nice, delicious morning smoothie. Alright, so this has been blending long enough. We're going to go ahead and turn it off. It's just gotten a lot quieter. Now let's go ahead and show you guys. Whoa, look at that. All the way to the top, my morning smoothie. And yes, I will be drinking this entire smoothie in one sitting. For me, it's very important to stay hydrated. I'm staying hydrated literally with the coconut water and all the fresh fruits. The last thing I want to show you guys is actually how well this Vitamix did on blending. And to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to pour the mixture through this sieve here. Now this sieve has holes, so the sieve will not let any large particles through and let the small stuff through. If you do try this on your standard household blender, you're going to see the strainer is going to catch a lot of different things that were just not blended in large chunks of stuff. And let me show you guys how well the Vitamix did. Alright, look at that. We're pouring this through. And let's see. It's mostly all going through in here. And this is called the strainer test. This is a good test to do on different blenders to see their capacity and to see which one basically holds back more fiber. The weaker your blender, the more fiber that, you know, it's gonna hold back and will be left in your strainer. As you can see, we're pushing this all the way through. We're gonna just take a spoon and run that all the way through like that, make it go a little bit quicker. All right, so just about done pushing all that through, and as you can see, the Vitamix left very little extra fiber in the strainer basket. Now, I guarantee you guys, if you did this with any other blender, including some other high power blenders, it's gonna leave definitely more bits and chunks in your little strainer here. Because trust me, I've tested many high power blenders, and at this point, the Vitamix Turbo Blend VS does the best out of all the ones I've tested. Now, of course, the last part of this demo today is me to start drinking my smoothie here. And let's go drink this. I'm so thirsty. Delicious berry superfood goodness. Now you guys know how you can make a delicious superfood, mostly berry breakfast smoothie with the Vitamix Turbo Blend VS. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Once again, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors. This is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Today I have another exciting episode for you, and this is definitely going to be a fun one. I know it's one you guys have been waiting for a long time, especially if you saw an infomercial on TV for this little guy right here. It's actually called the NutriBullet. What we're going to do today is actually compare the NutriBullet to the good old-fashioned Vitamix Turbo Blend VS. So, you know, many people may wonder, how is the NutriBullet? I mean, is it really as good as they say? Is it really not a juicer? Is it really not a blender?